Guru Paramhansa Yogananda,
beloved Guru Paramhansa Yogananda,
saints of all religions,
saints of all religions,
we lovingly bow before you all.
we lovingly bow before you all.
Great Gurus,
Great Gurus,
flow into our lives flood-like,
flow into our lives flood-like,
rinsing away all those lower feelings
rinsing away all those lower feelings
of doubt, anger, and fear.
of doubt, anger, and fear.
Lift us on your one tide
Lift us on your one tide
of divine consciousness,
of divine consciousness,
ever moving upward
ever moving upward
until we only feel your bliss.
until we only feel your bliss.
Help us to live within our spine
Help us to live within our spine
and the joy found therein,
and the joy found therein,
and make us channels of thy love
and make us channels of thy love
to all souls.
to all souls.
Om.
Om.
Peace.
Amen.
Please be seated. So welcome everyone. My name is David and this is Shannon, for anyone who doesn't know us. Hello to everyone online and to our friends here in the church. Many of the congregation are in California right now at the centennial celebration of Swamiji's 100th anniversary. So they're celebrating with us in spirit, and there's lots of free chairs here this morning for all the angels and the divine beings that want to be with us. So we're going to start with some music this morning, and Duty will lead us. She's at Ananda village right now, and we'll start with the Om song. So there's no words in the books, just take in the song. It's a really beautiful one.
Yes, so Yogananda wrote these words, and one of a young devotee put them to music. When Om the soundeth roared up come, when drowsed matter's dreary drum, on shores of bliss Om booming breaks, all earth, all heaven, all body shakes. The bumblebee now hums along, baby Om doth softly sing his song. From Krishna's flute the call is sweet, 'tis time the watery God to meet. Cords bound to flesh are broken off, vibrations burst and meteors fall. The hustling heart, the boasting breath, no more shall cause a yogi's death. The God of fire with fervor sings, Om Om, his joyous harp now rings. Prana God with power sounds, the wondrous bells the soul resounds. All nature lies in darkness soft, the star divine is seen aloft. Subconscious dreams have gone to bed, 'tis then that one doth hear Om's tread. Oh, upward climb the living tree, hark to the cosmic symphony. From Om the soundless roar from Om, the call for light or dark to roam. From Om the music of the spheres, from Om the mist of nature's tears, all things of earth and heaven declare, Om Om resounding everywhere. When Om the soundless roar doth come, when mad drowseth matter's dreary drum, on shores of bliss Om booming breaks, all earth, all heaven, all body shakes. The bumblebee now hums along, baby Om does softly sing his song. From Krishna's flute the call is sweet, 'tis time the watery God flash are broken off. Vibrations burst and meteors fall. The hustling heart, the boasting breath, no more shall cause the yogi's death. The God of fire with fervor sings. Om, Om, his joyous harp now rings. On a God with power sounds. The wondrous bells the soul resounds. Oh, nature lies in darkness soft. The star divine is seen aloft. Subconscious dreams have gone to bed. 'Tis then that one doth hear home's tread. Oh, upward climb the living tree. Hark to the cosmic symphony. From Om, the soundless roar from Om. The call for light or dark to roam. From Om, the music of the spheres. From Om, the mist of nature's tears. All things of earth and heaven declare. Om, Om, resounding everywhere. Om, Om, resounding everywhere. Om, Om, resounding everywhere. Now we'll sing this chant together. What lightning flash will be in your gray book. This is an old Bengali chant. It was translated by Yogananda. Lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee I am through and through. Seeing thee I am through and through.
and tear your eyes, let's have another chant, thousands of suns. Try to stay inside that beautiful chant, what lightning flash.
Tells me thou art God, O my
Stand up tall through the spine, sitting away from the back of the chair. And as if by effervescence, let the spine drift gently upward, light and full of energy. Relax the shoulders and allow the heart to find a little more expansion on the front side of the body. And finally, lift the gaze so that you're looking out beyond the body, as if to a distant horizon. Lift your gaze above that horizon, concentrating at the point between the two eyebrows. Feel your body spacious, filled with thousands of suns and moons, shining with effulgence, with brilliance, with joy, with peace. And you, the indwelling consciousness, within everything. We'll meditate for a few minutes together in this way.
Remaining in a meditative space, please listen to this week's affirmations for self-healing by Swami Kriyananda. Week 25, Peace of Mind. Peace of mind is the result not of money in the bank, but of prayer and meditation. The more one contacts God in meditation, the more he feels descending upon him a blanket, as it were, of inner peace, cooling his body, calming his restless impulses, and thrilling his nerves with ever new delight. Peace is like a weightless waterfall, washing away all worries and bestowing a new, glad sense of confidence. Peace of mind is his who knows that God is his only treasury. And the affirmation from pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace. So affirming in a loud voice, pools of inner silence,
From pools of inner silence,
I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
Now in a conversational tone, from pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
From pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace.
Now in a whisper, from pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace. And now taking the affirmation inward, from pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace. And now bringing the gaze to the spiritual eye, bringing the affirmation into superconsciousness, silently from pools of inner silence, I sip the sparkling waters of thy peace. And the prayer, all that I own is thine, Lord. Help me to know thee as the river of peace, running silently beneath the sands of my life's experiences.
Now we'll have our reading from Rays of the One Light.
Good morning. Rays of the Light, the reading from Rays of the One Light, weekly commentaries on the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita. Nerves. Week 25, the internal now. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. When will I find God? My devotees have asked this question because worldly goals require time, usually for their fulfillment. We imagine time to be a factor on the spiritual path. And so it is, but only because we think it is. God is as much with us now as he will ever be. It is not he who needs to come to us. We need to come to him. And that process of coming is a matter of transforming our self-perception. In the Gospel of St. John, chapter 4, Jesus Christ says, "Say not ye, there are not yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest." There is a practical teaching in these words, apart from their statement that we have God already and have only to realize that truth. Jesus is saying, lift up your eyes and look. To hold the eyes uplifted in the best position for meditation, for the seat of superconsciousness lies at a midpoint between the eyebrows, in the frontal lobe of the brain, just behind that point. This point is known also as the Christ Center. By lifting up your eyes and concentrating there, you will find it easier to enter the state of ecstasy. This is why saints in every religion have often been observed during states of deep inner communion with their eyes uplifted, focused on the inner light, white, as Jesus said, already to harvest. The Bhagavad Gita goes further into this meditative teaching. In the 6th chapter, it states, holding the spine firm, the neck and head erect and motionless, let the yogi focus his eyes at the starting place of the nose, the point between the eyebrows. Let not his gaze roam elsewhere. In meditation, tell yourself, I have him already. I am alive forever in the divine light. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind.
Great job, Bonnie. You did a great job. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our friends joining in online at home and to everyone here. Let's continue with Whispers from Eternity. This is prayer demand number 98, demand that God respond. Today, Father, thou hast come into my temple. With thy coming, all the lights of my sent servants have sprung to life, and the door of my heart has been opened wide. Thy blessing has driven away the darkness of ages, sending its heavy vapors fleeing at the first glimpse of thy approach. The loud beating drums of my craving announce thy manifestation. The incense of devotion, rising from the incessor of my soul, wafts upward to thee. O bless me always, respond to me whenever I call to thee. So our reading today is in large part about this inner reality that is right within us and oftentimes is not part of our everyday consciousness, inasmuch as we have the habit of directing all of our attention out into the senses. Yogananda said that we actually have life currents that go from our inner sense of life out into the senses to animate them and to bring them to life. And so they have a real power behind them. There is a magnetism that draws us out into the senses and out into the world. And yoga is that science of learning how to withdraw those life currents back into the interior self so that we can experience ourselves as we truly are, which is as a calm consciousness, a calm feeling. So there's a very practical side of the teaching today. Jesus is teaching his disciples that the point between the two eyebrows, looking into the light, is the primary way that we withdraw our attention from the senses and come back into the interior temple of our consciousness. He's also teaching that we have God with us always, which sometimes on the spiritual path, we have a tendency to look outside of ourselves because of that habit of going out into the senses and always experiencing from the outside in, that somehow God is out there. And in doing that, we create this chasm between ourselves and God consciousness, when in reality, God is more close than our own thoughts. God is the center of who we are because God is consciousness. So this path of yoga teaches us practically how to withdraw ourselves into that interior state of consciousness, which is God. And it's not just a concept. It's not something that we just sort of dream up in our thoughts and we try to believe in, or we try to externally subscribe to the idea or follow the idea of God. But it is something that we can experience inside of ourselves, and it's the foundation of our path at Ananda. So practically speaking, we need to learn how to withdraw our energy from those senses. And Yogananda said that meditation is not sitting in the silence. It's much more than that. We don't sort of just close our eyes and hope that everything's going to work out. There is an actual science to it. In order to get our restless energy to withdraw and come back into, as Shannon said, the affirmation, those inner pools of silence, there's a definite process. And that process begins with our attention or our perception. So if we have a very strong habit, which most of us do, of externalizing our attention out into the senses, it would behoove us to pay attention to something that's happening inside of ourselves. And the perfect bridge is our breath. Because the breath is something that is happening in this moment right now. It's something we can pay attention to, but it doesn't have the same kind of gross physical reality like our senses do. It's not in color, it's not textured, but it is a very real process that's happening. And the yogis taught that it's the bridge between the outer world and the inner world. And all we have to do is pay attention to it, which sounds incredibly simple. And spoiler alert, it is not incredibly simple. It's simple in theory, but it takes a lot of effort for us to concentrate on one thing that's happening at a time. Our minds typically, because we're not paying attention to them, we're so out into the senses, are just jumping from one thing to the next all day long. And so when we start to pause and we come into silence, that's usually the first thing we notice is, wow, what is going on inside my head? These thoughts are jumping around. How do we still that storm? The breath is the key to that. And the yogis taught that the breath is a perfect mirror reflection of our consciousness at all times. So if our mind is jumping around to a million different thoughts, chances are your breath is also very restless, meaning that it's not calm and abiding and at peace. So the good news is that we can change our breath to change our consciousness. We can also watch the breath as it flows naturally as a way to soothe ourselves and to come back into the interior. And what happens is as we create a magnetism in our spine by concentrating at the point between the two eyebrows and on the breath, that magnet draws the life currents out of the senses. So it's not something that we need to wrestle with or we need to battle against our restless mind. It doesn't mean that we need to force our attention inside. We just need to still ourselves and to come back to that calm center. And naturally that creates a magnetism and pulls all of our energy back into the spine. And what the Bhagavad Gita section of this reading is teaching is that it really is in the spine, the central highway, that we have the experience of God. It's important that we stay still in meditation because movement is a distraction. The more that we're moving from one thing to the next, like our mind or with our physical body, it becomes harder for us to really interiorize and remember ourselves as pure consciousness. You see, we've been out in that desert of the senses for so long that oftentimes we forget the reality of where we truly live, which is the oasis, which is the inner pool of silence. Yogananda's guru, Sri Yukteswar, said that every time that we indulge into the senses, he said, it's like walking out into the desert with a cup full of water and pouring out our peace into the sands. He said it just disappears, it evaporates, and there goes our peace. So the important thing to remember is that the senses don't have the ability to satisfy us. And we might feel that because we get pleasure by indulging in the senses, that there is some sort of satisfaction. But pleasure always comes with its opposite, which is pain and disappointment. So it's a counterfeit joy, it's a counterfeit happiness because it's in the senses. You can stimulate something and create a rise in energy in it, but naturally that stimulation has to end and it has to go down. That's what the senses are like. Every time we extend our energy too far into them and forget this inner reality, we are literally just pouring our peace out into the desert sands where it evaporates. So, not to seem heavy or serious in any way, but it is an invitation for us to contemplate what does bring true happiness and where is the source of our joy. If it's not out there in our senses, where can it possibly be? And the truth is that it's in our consciousness. We are consciousness pervading everything, but we come before matter. Our consciousness comes before the material world. So it's up to us to still that storm of the breath, of the heart, of the senses, and go back within ourselves to really discover who we truly are inside. And when everything gets very quiet, for anybody who's ever meditated, even for a short time, you have an experience of being consciousness. And that sounds sort of like a concept at first. Okay, we're consciousness. What does it feel like? Well, it feels like the 8 aspects of God, which are peace, joy, love, calmness, wisdom, light, sound, and power. That is the lived experience of the presence of God within us. That's where it starts anyway. And Yogananda said the first experience of God is always of peace. So when we close our eyes and we really still that restlessness, we have that first initial experience of being at peace in ourselves, which is, there's nothing more valuable than peace. There's not enough dinners, parties, concerts, stimulations in the outside world that can even come close to the feeling of when you're truly peaceful. And therein lies our dilemma, is that so often we are tricked by our own inner habits, our own inner tendencies, to exchange the most valuable currency there is for a high, which always comes with a low. So it's our choice whether we stop making that terrible trade or not. And the reality is that we have invested a lot of time and effort into those patterns, and so it's not so easy to just say, well, I'm done with them. But in a sense, it is that easy to say, I'm going to do something about them. And there starts the spiritual journey, is how do I find my sense of peace, my sense of purpose inside of myself? And it's very clear in the Bhagavad Gita, it is in your spine. So it's tempting to go and try that exchange out in the world of exchanging peace for pleasure, but we all know what it feels like on the other side of that, which is that disappointment. It's like, oh, it didn't work out, I got tricked again. And sometimes we double down and we say, well, if I'm feeling that bad anyway, give me some more pleasure. And we double down, and slowly by slowly, peace is right behind us, it's right inside of our heart, and we're looking everywhere else but the place where it exists. So meditation, the reason why it's so important to this path and why Yogananda taught it with such interest, as opposed to other yoga traditions that focus more on postures or on outer attitudes, is that it is the most direct pathway into the consciousness of God. And no matter what tradition you're a part of, you will inevitably have to walk the path of the spine, so to speak. There's only one path in the world, and it starts way out on the senses, and it ends in the spine, in your consciousness. So no matter where we are, we can always turn our attention back into ourselves. And it can become a really, truly beautiful practice to, even when you see beauty all around you, like on these wonderful summer days, or you see it in flowers or in children laughing, you can start to be aware of your spine in those moments. And what you'll come to realize is that that joy is not coming from that child that you saw. It's not coming from the beautiful day. It's actually something that is vibrating inside of you. Now, those images and those experiences can remind you of that joy and activate it inside, but you can't get it out there. Out there, it doesn't even exist. It's just a projection of our own senses that makes this world. So, in a very real sense, everything is happening inside of us. All of our reactions, our joys, our blisses, our disappointments. But the closer that we draw into the center of ourselves, the closer that we get to that feeling of bliss and joy. And the more we make that a priority, the more we can live in that consciousness. That's the promise. That's what these great masters lived in. They went through the same path that we're on, and in fact, they experienced exactly what you're experiencing in their own consciousness through their vast unfoldment. So take heart in the fact that we will end up like these masters one day, because the consciousness inside of us is always in that place. So in the reading, it talks about how God is here and now, the eternal now. And it's so true that, imagine if you're spinning pottery, for example, and you start with your lump of clay in the center, and you start to shape it, and if you don't get that clay perfectly on the center, it wobbles, and it starts to throw itself out of the center. You start to feel the waves of not being centered. The same is true in our consciousness. The more externalized we are, the more we feel the ups and downs of life. And sometimes, again, the tendency is that, well, if I'm feeling the ups and downs, when I'm on the down, I might as well look for an up. And it just makes the waves bigger and bigger and bigger, and it leads to disappointment. So the truth is that we really have no choice if we want to be happy. It only comes in one place. That's the good news, too, because we only have to look inside of our hearts. Nobody can give it to us. They can transfer it by being in their own center and their own self, like when we're around the great masters and we're around even devotees here that have a great inner joy, you start to feel it in yourself. And I want to say also that there is this quality not just of being interiorized, but being elevated. Because we can be interiorized and we can be dull. And the eyes are linked with this. We talk about putting the attention at the point between the two eyebrows. There's a reason for that. When you look down, your eyes cast downward. It first of all pulls your posture downward, which kinks your spine, and it kinks all that wonderful flow of energy back to bliss. But what it also does is it pulls you down into the subconscious. And the subconscious is the collection of all of our past actions, experiences, impressions. The subconscious can never make us happy because it's just a repeat of what we already experienced out in the world. It's like a tape recorder. It just plays the same experience that seems like it fits with the moment that you're in now. There's nothing original about it. And sometimes if we live very deeply in the subconscious, we think that's who I am. We think that I am this thought and I am this response that I do every single time this person does this thing to me. The truth is that we're not the subconscious. It's an aspect. The next is the consciousness. So when we look out and we're consciously aware, like this morning, when you're listening to the music and you're tuning in meditation, the first thing that starts to happen is you become aware of what's happening as it's happening. That's the first step to freedom. But there's another step even higher, and that's the superconscious. The superconscious is activated when our eyes look up. And those are those qualities of love and joy, of calmness, of wisdom, power. So if we truly want to live in a state of joy and bliss, it's not enough to just interiorize ourselves. We also have to lift our consciousness up. And, kids are probably one of the most dramatic examples of how energy works in life, because they don't really have a filter and they express things very dramatically. And so if you see a kid who's really upset with something, they literally stomp their feet on the ground, they throw their body on the ground, they curl their bodies over, and because that's what downward energy does. It wants to pull you down into that lower state of consciousness. Kids are articulating that for us. And when they're happy, what do? They throw their arms up in the air, they jump. They literally jump for joy when they're happy, or they're buzzing around. And that's a good teaching for all of us to remember, that those higher states of consciousness are in an uplifted state inside of ourselves. So it's uplifted because it's highly aware. And that's the key here that we want to remember, is that subconscious is very dim and it's barely awake. It's like when you're asleep and somebody wakes you up. Has it ever happened to you? Somebody is fully conscious and they wake you up and they shake you and they're saying, listen, I have this wonderful idea. And you wake up and you're like, oh, what happened? Where am I? Because you're barely conscious. You're barely awake. They're conscious. You could see the difference. Well, super conscious is a whole nother level. That's the type of person that when you're around them, you want to be a better person. You want the light. You want to feel peace. You want to feel calm or joy. That it awakens that in you. So the superconscious lives up at the point between the two eyebrows. Bless you. Anytime you're moving throughout your day, you can come back to that sense of the interior body, in the spine, at the point between the two eyebrows. Somebody can be giving you the worst complaint, or as Swami Kriyananda would say, a tongue lashing, of the worst, and you can go into your spine. And this is the ideal, is that we come back into ourselves so that the outside world no longer has the power to shape us. And it's a long journey. It's not something that happens overnight. But every time we turn back to that inner reality through energization practices, through meditation and chanting, we go back and dip into that inner well of the inner pool of rejuvenating energy, because it is who we are. So that's the invitation today, is don't get fooled, first of all, by that temptation to exchange your peace for pleasure, because somebody is always rigging that deal in the back. What they hide from you is that there's always disappointment on the other side. And if you do found that you took that deal, it's okay. Go back to the peace, because that's what stops that fluctuating up and down from pleasure to disappointment. The next thing is to concentrate on the spiritual eye. Again, because that is what's going to magnetize your consciousness upward. Even if you're in the middle of a bad mood. Swami Kriyananda taught once, he was in a terrible mood. He used to be plagued by them. And he was feeling so down and so low. And he decided that no matter what, he was going to change his state of being. And he went and he sat down and he said he powerfully put his attention at the spiritual eye for 5 minutes. Not a single wisp of energy anywhere else but there. And he concentrated really deeply on that point. And he said that he found that mood completely evaporated. And this is the promise that maybe will happen to us, I hope, it never plagued him again. And that's the kind of dynamic energy and power that lives within us that we can use to change ourselves. So I think lastly, I'll just close here on saying make meditation an integral part of your life, because you can't get into that inner pool of silence any other way meaningfully except by stilling yourself and by scientifically withdrawing the energy back into the spine. That's where all the joy is. That's where all the bliss is. And the more that you spend time in that, the less likely you are to get tricked by that little trickster that says, come back into the senses, Happened to me yesterday. I went for an ice cream. I really thought it was going to make me happy. And I realized what I love about going to get ice cream is to go with my wife and spend time with her. And that the joy that I feel of being with her is what I really love about it. it wasn't the best ice cream, is what I'm trying to say. So try not to accept that trick and to remember the great wealth that you have inside you. It's right there. It's yours if you want to take it. All right. Joy to you all. Thank you. We'll have our offertory now.
Please take what you would like to give and place it in your right hand and repeat after me. Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
we offer to thee the fruit of our labors.
we offer to thee the fruit of our labors.
Bless this offering,
Bless this offering,
that it serve as a channel of light
that it serve as a channel of light
to truth-seeking souls everywhere.
to truth-seeking souls everywhere. So for the offertory song, we're going to sing a song for you, Shannon and I. This is called Make Us Channels of Thy Peace. It's a St. Francis song. You ready?
Yeah.
Lord Most High, our Heavenly Father, all our lives we dedicate to Thee. All our labors, all our joys and woes, all our pleasure, all our melody. Make us each a channel of Thy peace. When in darkness, guide us from above. Where there's sorrow, may we sow Thy joy. Where there's hatred, may we share Thy love. One more time with us, everyone. Lord Most High, our Heavenly Father, all our lives we dedicate to Thee. All our labors, all our joys and woes, all our pleasure, all our melody. Make us each a channel of Thy peace. When in darkness, guide us from above. Where there's sorrow, may we sow Thy joy. Where there's hatred, may we share Thy love. Thank you. We'll now have our Festival of Light.